I'm Llama Gucci from Ashijima's farm and you're watching Disney Channel.
Hey guys. So this is part 2 of the bokuaka series. I was pretty excited to get this out. If you haven't watched part 1 yet, make sure to do that before watching this one. To be honest, bokuaka has always been one of my favorite ships. Like, there's so many ships in this fandom, but this is one that I feel like could be 100% canon. Furudate really did an amazing job at designing these two characters, from their contrasting personalities to how they behave with each other. And the amount of care these two have for each other is absolutely insane. Like, even though it's fiction, it just resonates with you know? But anyway, I'ma stop rambling, haha. But before I go, I do have an amazing news. A Discord server is in the works right now and will be done by the time I post my next video, so look out for that. Anyways, that's it. I hope you enjoyed this video and I'll see you on the next one.
Akaashi, I like you. Bokuto's fingers had stopped moving, the ink of his ballpoint pen seething into the paper lying in front of him. His fretful eyes frantically shifted through the scribbled words painted, trying to comprehend what it meant for him. Bokuto let out an aggravated sigh, dropping his pen. That's too simple. I need something more gua. Bokuto's head was filled with the memories from the day before and his heart almost leaped out of his chest, remembering how cute Akaashi looked with those ridiculous pigtails. He needs to know how I feel. But what if he doesn't feel the same way? I don't want that. I want him to want me. Ugh, this is making me crazy. Bokuto huffed as he slammed his hands onto the desk, earning a few stares from his classmates. He sheepishly apologized before resting his head on the desk, suddenly hoping for a black hole to come and tear him apart. Bokuto-san. Bokuto instantly jerked up from his tiny nap and looked up to see Akaashi staring down at him with those beautiful gunmetal blue eyes of his. Why is he here? Akaashi, what are you doing here? What do you mean it's time for lunch? Oh right. You're acting weird. Is everything okay? Huh? Oh no, everything's okay, just a little sleepy. Alright. Well, come on. This is going to be a disaster. Howls of the wind filled Fukurodani's rooftop as Bokuto watched the other unbox his bento. Akaashi's eyes flickered to Bokuto's perked up ones and raised an eyebrow at him. What? Are those meatballs? Oh yeah, my mum made them. Akaashi stared at the enriched look on the other's face, immediately understanding what he wanted. Do you want one? A smile swept across Bokuto's face as he feverishly nodded his head. Akaashi chuckled lightly as he watched the other devour his favorite food. Careful you don't want to choke. Wow, tell your mum that she makes the best meatballs, they are so good, Kashi. Thanks, I'll tell her. As they ate in silence, with every fleeting moment Bokuto's heartbeat quickened 10 times more. His eyes awkwardly shifted between Akaashi and the concrete ground. Should I tell him now? Maybe not, I mean he's eating, he might choke at the news. Wait, why did he just get 10 times more prettier? KSKSK, I can't take this anymore. Akaashi. Yes? There's something I need to tell you. What is it? Bokuto swallowed thickly as he stared at the other's softened eyes. Well, lately I've been thinking about some things and I've come to a realization. Which is? Life's too short to miss out on things. Yes. And you can't wait for life to open doors for you, so sometimes you have to open them up yourself. Bokuto-san. Yeah? Have you perhaps spent too much time on Pinterest? I know, listen to me, Kashi. Okay. As I was saying, sometimes you just gotta buy your own lemons and not expect life to throw them at you. Right. So that's what I'm going to do. Okay. And I don't want you to think I'm way. A sudden vibration from Akaashi's phone disrupted the flow of their conversation, prompting him to take his phone out of his pocket. Hold on one sec. Sure. As Bokuto watched Akaashi's eyes skim through his phone's screen, he began chewing on his lip nervously. With furrowed eyebrows, his head tilted to the side, Bokuto felt confused at the perked up, or rather stunned, eyes of the other. Is everything okay? Akaashi closed his phone and looked up at Bokuto with a dazed look in his eyes. What is it? Tell me, Akaashi. So you know Misaka, right? Emiko's sister. Bokuto slowly nodded, ignoring the pang in his chest at hearing her name coming out of the other's mouth. Why is he bringing her up now? Well, she just asked me out. Well, what? She did what? Weird, right? There was no hiding Bokuto's anger as he felt his heart tighten. He wanted to say something, no anything, but he was too blinded by anger and jealousy. I don't know what to say to her. Do you want to go out with her? Please say no please. Well, I hadn't really thought about dating until now. Oh, if you don't want today. Like it didn't really occur to me, you know. Bokuto nodded slowly. He didn't know what to say. But, what you said kinda struck me. About life being too short to pass up on opportunities. The pain in Bokuto's chest magnified by 1,000 times as he knew what was going on. Please Akaashi, tell me you're not actually considering this. And I've been meaning to step out of my comfort zone for a while now, and also move on. Move on? So maybe Akaashi paused. I don't know what to do. Do you think it's a good idea to go out with her? Every part of Bokuto wanted to scream no, wanted to list out a number of reasons why it wasn't a good idea. But not one was good enough to convince him otherwise without stating the obvious reason. I hate this. God, I hate this so much. Now I definitely can't tell him how I feel, not when I know that he's into her. You should do what your heart tells you to do. For a split second Akaashi's eyes perked up before settling down to an unnerved state. You sure? Yes. Bokuto had desperately hoped that Akaashi's heart would tell him to reject the girl and fall in love with him instead. He had always been a fantasist, someone who always aspired to be the best, to have the best, but right now to see the very best slipping away from him surely rendered him helpless. Then I guess I'm going out with her. I guess you are. Wait, what were you trying to say before this? Bokuto smiled faintly before shoving his bento box into his bag hurriedly. Nothing. Just a stupid quote I found on Pinterest. I knew it. Akaashi smirked, but Bokuto was too heartbroken to even crack a smile. I'll see you at practice, Akaashi.
Oh, yeah.
Mental breakdown central group chat. Shit. I'm so fucking angry. Like I wanna break everything around me. Ugh, I fucking hate my life. Whoa, calm down. What's wrong? Lmao, what isn't? Did something happen with Akaashi? Something did happen with Akaashi, just not what I wanted. What'd he do? You know the girl I mentioned yesterday? The one who gave him her number? Yes. Well, she asked him out. What the fuck? Yikes. What'd he say? He's going on a date with her on Friday. Top 10 anime betrayals right there. Carrot. Did you not tell him how you feel? Well, I was going to, but she happened. I have a question. What? Did he even seem interested to go on a date with her? What do you mean? Like, did he seem unsure? Oh, that's a good question. Who knew Salt had brains? Well, I didn't know roosters could talk either, but here we are. I pretend I do not see. Well, I don't know, I mean he was kinda confused at first, then I was like, do what your heart tells you to do, and I guess that meant yes to the date. What? I still think you should tell him how you feel. Yeah, I mean for all you know he might just not want to hurt her feelings. Horizontal ellipsis. What? I have an idea. Oh god. I have to sabotage his date. Or you could just tell him how you feel. Nope, it's too late for that. But it's not. BSFKDKFKJKL, this is so frustrating. What does she have that I don't? The balls to ask Akaashi out? Two people liked a message. Guys. Yes. I've thought about this for a minute and I think I know what I'm going to do. What are you planning?
Oh, yeah.
Bokuto. What in the name of Florida is going on here? They were parked outside a restaurant. Precisely the one where Akaashi was currently taking his date to. This is what people call a stakeout. No, this is what people call stalking. It's not stalking, I told you, it's a stakeout. Why are you trying to stalk Akaashi? Bokuto huffed, wanting to retaliate but decided against it. He didn't have the guts to defend himself. I don't know. You don't know? If I'm being honest, I just want to see what he sees in her, what she has that I don't. Okay, but there's much healthier ways to do that than this. Seriously, this is creepy. I don't know, this sounds pretty fun, there's nothing wrong with a little reckon. Okura smirked, earning a smack on the head from Kiryu. Bokuto sighed. He knew they were right, but his impatience was more important to him than his integrity and morals. What makes you think this'll even work? Do you really think Akaashi wouldn't notice us? We have our disguises on, trust me it'll work. You asked us to bring a pair of shades which I can't even wear as a matter of fact. I told you to wear contacts. Contacts are the devil. In the midst of rolling his eyes, Bokuto's eyes caught onto a certain dark-haired boy walking into the restaurant. Bokuto's eyes widened. His breath caught in his throat. Akaashi looks so good. However, his heart began to lurch once realization hit him that Akaashi didn't dress up for him, that this was all for someone else. Akaashi's here. All we're doing is watch him? That's still fucking creepy. I say we go there and stir up some drama. Kiryu squinted his eyes at Ikoa, who just shrugged in response. Bokuto's eyes didn't leave Akaashi's sight. He was so enthralled by the other's beauty that he almost hadn't realized what he had come there for. I'm glad I asked him what his plans were for this date. However, a minute later the once plastered smile on Bokuto's face began faltering at the events occurring in front of him. Look at him pulling out her chair like as if she doesn't have hands. Bokuto grimaced, feeling every nerve of his body boil. He knew he probably looked insensitive and childish, but he couldn't care less. You've never been on a date, have you? Shut up. Contrary to the other's beliefs, Bokuto had been on a couple of dates in his lifetime, just not ones he enjoyed or ones he was emotionally ready for. That should have been me. That would have been you if you had confessed like we told you to. Ignoring the latter's comment, Bokuto peered his eyes at the dreadful couple in his sight. The knot in his chest tightened as he watched them talk, laugh and do all the other things he did with Akaashi on a daily basis. His anger only magnified as he watched Misako inch her hand towards the others while giggling. I seriously don't know what he sees in her. Well, for what it's worth, she's making him laugh. Fake laugh. Kiryu rolled his eyes. Whatever the point is, she's probably funny. Yes, so is a clown, but you don't see me texting Chuck E. Cheese, do you? Chuck E. Cheese is not even a clown. I can feel my brain cells slowly deteriorating. Bokuto scoffed, brushing off the pang in his chest. He liked to think that he knew his best friend more than anyone else in the world, but at that moment it felt like he didn't know the person he was looking at. Just be patient, my king, a true clown's coming your way. Why do you even hate the girl anyway? What? I mean, there's no reason to hate her, so why do you? There's plenty of reasons. Like what? For stealing your man who wasn't even yours in the first place? Bokuto's eyes widened, his eyebrows scrunched up in anger. Look bro, it's okay to feel some type of resentment or anger towards the girl, it's a normal reaction, but one day or another you're going to have to understand that all she did was something you just didn't have the balls to do. I know all that already. Then why do you hate her? Because it was so easy for her to do this. Bokuto looked down at the floor mat of his car, fiddling with the hems of his shirt. And I could understand why it was so easy for her. Because she's a girl? No, well, that's part of the reason. Then? Because she has nothing to lose even if he rejects her, but for me, I'll lose him. And I just can't lose him. He whispered with shaky breath while gripping tightly onto his shirt. Kiryu placed a hand on his shoulder with a frown on his face, but Bokuto refused to look up. I know what you mean. Bokuto looked up, shifting his gaze to the backseat where a certain blonde-haired boy sat. Everyone's eyes were on him. Out of the bunch, Tsukishima was definitely considered the more snarky one. So it was a shocking revelation, to say the least, to hear compassion from him. You do? Yeah, I was the same way with Tadashi. I didn't want to lose him, so I pushed him away. Oh. Until it blew up in my face. He didn't need to hear any more. Bokuto knew one day or another this was all going to ruin him and the person he cared for the most. I just don't know what to do. What are you so confused about? What if it's all in my head and he's not pretending? What if he actually likes her? Then I won't have a chance, will I? All of these are fair questions and completely understandable ones. But have you ever given a moment to think about the fact that he might actually like you back? Do you really think we don't notice the way he looks at you? The way he looks at me? Ikoa nodded, a soft smile hugging the crevices of his lips. Yeah, he looks at you like he can't live without you. He probably just admires me because I'm the ace. This time it was Bokuto's turn to get smacked in the head. Ow. What was that for? That's for thinking stupidly. What's so stupid about what I said? If you think all the things he does for you are out of admiration, then you're completely wrong. I can't guarantee you that he likes you back. Tsukishima paused, his gaze lingering on Bokuto's curious eyes. But I can guarantee that if you don't even try you won't get results. I want to try. Then you need to learn to trust him first. What do you mean? Of course I trust him. If you did then we wouldn't be here stalking him, would we? Bokuto stayed silent. Everyone was right, he was digging his own grave. He never figured he'd go through these lengths just to make sure Akaashi wasn't having too much fun with her. He was ashamed of himself. Bokuto took off his shades and looked at the others. I guess you're right. Why did you take them off? Huh? Your shades. Oh, it was getting dark so I couldn't see properly. Well, hurry up and put it back on before Akaashi notices. Now I think it's better if we go home. What? Yeah, there's no use in stalking him like you guys said, I should just trust him. Bokuto brought his lips into a thin line, smiling tightly. There was a brief moment of silence as Bokuto stared down at the ground, reeling in reality. Wait, where the hell is Akaashi? That snapped him out of his trance as everyone's eyes fell upon Okoa before shifting to the brightly lit restaurant in front of them. Akaashi was no longer there, only his date stayed in her seat with a smile on her face. Maybe the bathroom? Bokuto sighed and brought his keys to start the engine. Forget it you guys, let's just get going. Bokuto. I'm serious, I should learn to trust him. No, I don't want to talk about this anymore. No, you dumb nut, he's coming this way. Bokuto's eyes widened as he almost instantly whipped his head to the left. True to Okoa's words, Akaashi had been walking towards them, his face remaining expressionless. It was at that moment Bokuto had realized that he had royally fucked up. Oh crap. Dude, you're so screwed. I know shit, I know. Bokuto gulped as he watched a large form tower over the passenger's window. After a few taps to the window, Okoa rolled them down, an awkward smile laced on his lips. Hey. What the hell are you guys doing here? Akaashi narrowed his eyes towards the nerve-wracked boy in the driver's seat who had been shifting awkwardly in his seat. Well, isn't this a surprise? Who knew we would run into you here? Just so you know, I was forced to come here. Sucky. Akaashi took a deep breath, not breaking eye contact with Bokuto. Bokuto-san. Yes. Can I talk to you for a moment? In private. Oh fuck. Sure. The others exchanged a sympathetic look towards Bokuto, who got out of the car with shaky hands. I'm so dead. What the hell are you doing here? Akaashi crossed his arms as he furrowed his eyebrows at the other. Well, you see. Are you stalking me? Well, no. But yes. Did you come to check up on me? No. Mostly yes. Then? I just happened to be here. On the same day, time and place I told you I was going to have a date at? Stop lying to me. Just tell me the truth. But I can't. Not yet anyway. I am telling you the truth, I just happened to be lies. What? Do you really expect me to believe such bullshit? Bokuto stayed silent, he couldn't come up with a good enough excuse, not when he was pressured like this. Just tell me the truth, I won't be mad, I promise. I have to lie to him or he'll hate me. Fine, I came to check up on you. Happy? Why? Because I told you that this was the first date I was going on in a while? I hadn't even thought of that. Well, that makes more sense than the lie I was going to come up with. Yeah. Oh. I appreciate that. But did you ever think about how embarrassing this would be for Misaka if she found out about this? Bokuto's eyes widened, his gaze dead set on Akaashi. Embarrassing for her? No, but I'm sorry that I embarrassed you and her. I'll be out of your hair. Have fun on your date. Bokuto spat out before turning around, ready to leave. Wait. Why the hell are you mad? I should be the one mad at you. Bokuto turned back around, his eyes still widened. Mad at me for wanting to make sure my best friend's okay? No, mad at you for doing something like this without my permission. Bokuto stayed silent, fiddling with his fingers. Akaashi was right, this was creepy on so many levels. Who told you I was here anyway? No one did. I simply saw you out of the glass. Oh. You could tell it was me? Who else has crazy owl-like hairs like yours? Bokuto looked away, feeling his cheeks heat up. And at the same time Akaashi walked closer to him without breaking away eye contact. He let out a sigh. I'm sorry. Bokuto looked up at him with one of his eyebrows raised. Why is he apologizing? You were just trying to be a good friend, but here I am yelling at you. Crap, I feel guilty. No, you're not wrong. I should be the one apologizing anyway. I shouldn't have tried to stalk you without your permission. Who even asks for permission to stalk someone? Akaashi laughed lightly, which brought a smile to the other's face. Shut up. Suddenly the tension in the air had cleared by 1,000 times and Bokuto was finally able to breathe properly. Is it going okay? I guess. He doesn't sound so sure. That's good. Akaashi nodded slowly. Well, your date's waiting, so. Akaashi's eyes widened for a split second before settling down to an unnerved state. Oh right. Bokuto tilted his head in confusion. What was that about? Well, I better get going now. Okay, have fun. Akaashi nodded slowly before walking back to the restaurant with his hands in his pockets. A frown crept its way onto Bokuto's face as he let out a sigh. Fuck, I can't do this anymore. I wish I could tell him how I feel. Why won't the words just come out? But even in the worst situations he always assumes the best out of me. A tear trickled down his cheek as he walked back to his car. If only he knew that I was really the worst. The rest of the weekend had gone by a blur as Bokuto tried his absolute best to avoid his best friend, who may or may not have been spending all his time with someone else. Or at least that's what Bokuto had assumed. Before he knew it, it was Monday evening, which meant he would have to face Akaashi at volleyball practice. He had been pretty successful at avoiding the latter all day. Like avoiding eye contact, ignoring his texts, and coming up with excuses to avoid spending any time with him. But the hardest part about all of this definitely had to be convincing himself that he wasn't in love with his best friend. Maybe it was just infatuation. Maybe he just liked the idea of him. Maybe this was all in his head. But in the back of his mind he knew he wasn't fooling anyone. He was very much in love with Kiji Akaashi, and there was nothing he could do to convince himself otherwise. Fortunately for Bokuto, he was able to avoid Akaashi at all costs, maintaining little to no interaction between them except for when calling out for tosses. And he figured that if he could just escape the locker room before Akaashi finished cleaning up, he would be able to slip away easily. He quickly shoved all of his things in his backpack and rushed towards the door. Just as he was about to open it, however, he felt a pair of calloused hands on his. Bokuto gulped as he slowly looked up at the discerned boy in front of him. Why the hell are you ignoring me? I'm not. Stop lying to me, Bokuto-san. Akaashi's tone remained calm, but the other could feel his anger seeping through the air. Bokuto couldn't shift his focus from the fact that Akaashi's hand was still on his. Heat traveled through his body as he desperately fought a blush from forming on his face. Did I do something wrong? No. Then why have you been avoiding me like the plague? I haven't been avoid. You call out my name a million times on a daily basis, but today you haven't even mentioned it once. Bokuto's breath quickened. He noticed. In fact, you haven't talked to me at all since the date. Bokuto looked down at the floor. He hated how cold he felt when Akaashi's hand was no longer on his. Tell me, did I do something wrong? Akaashi inched closer, the frown on his face intensifying with every fleeting moment. It's nothing you did. Please don't look at me like that. Then? You wouldn't understand. There was a brief moment of silence as Bokuto watched the colors drain out of Akaashi's face. Shit, I messed up, I shouldn't have said that. How can you even say that? Bokuto stayed silent, not knowing what to say. How can you look me in the eyes and tell me that? For the past 2 years all I've been doing is trying to understand you and be there for you, and you tell me this? Do you really think I wouldn't understand? He's right, but... Yes. Bokuto exclaimed, no longer being able to hold in his frustration. Seriously? Please Akaashi, you have to leave. I can't do this anymore. Yes. So that's how it is, huh? No. Akaashi sighed. Is it because I yelled at you? No. Are you mad that I didn't appreciate you enough that night? No. I need to get out of here before I do something I regret. Is it because I couldn't come to practice that evening? No. Then? Come on, I can't keep guessing, Bokuto-san. Just drop it. No, tell me. You'll hate me. I won't. Bokuto refused to speak another word. He knew damn well he would just blurt it out if he did. Once more Akaashi heaved an exasperated sigh. Are you jealous that I went on a date with Misaka? What? What the hell? Does he know I liked him? Because you liked her and I might have accidentally taken her away from you? I can't. If that's the case then I will back off. Fuck it. I didn't mean to hurt you. Damn it Akaashi. I freaking like you, okay? And in that moment there was no denying the fact that the noises outside were white noise compared to the beat of Akaashi's racing heart. Just like that Akaashi's world had come crumbling down to a screeching halt.
Oh